First of all, thank you, Beth, invited me here. And I really enjoyed work with JCATI for the last two projects, including currently. And my talk a little different, but it's very important. So U.S. heavily relies on petroleum energy, including biggest in aviation. If we need alternative, okay, we do. If we need alternative, there are no options to produce liquid fuel from other source other than biomass. So lignin is the second largest biopolymer on Earth. First of all, is cellulose. So it's aromatic ring structure like tree stems. So that's the topic I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah. So this is actually the overall our hypothesis, right? So cellulosic ethanol is industry periodic we try commercialize. So the 1.3 billion dry ton biomass available for us to convert it to alternative biofuels or bioproducts, okay? If we are still stick on the EPA mandate, okay? By 2030, we replace 30% transportation fuels would produce 50 billion gallons of ethanol. In the meantime, we got 0.3 billion ton lignin available, which is useless at currently status, okay? Now if, based on our technology, which is funded by JCATI or other institutions, so we can produce 100 gallon jet fuel, possibly, okay, from the lignin. So we can generate almost 30 billion gallon of jet fuel in the same settings for national long-term goal. So this figures actually tells you you have a lignin, you have a carbohydrates, ended up you can get a fuels. You also can get chemicals. You know that 80–90% of our petroleum actually produced in the fuel market, only like 10 or 20% in the chemical market. Take a look at the lignin and the potential products you can see. So this is a jet fuel, phenols, so carbon fiber, which is also funded by DOE doing that now. And this is actually world production for different lignins. So commercial from pulp and paper, everything is smaller. If you really do refineries, you have a large amount of lignin available, just like I said. Sorry. And this is actually the biojet pathways. And there are 5 of them certified as a job-in components. We call the blending stocks. None of them called the full spectrum of biofuel, okay? So there are 5 of them. Other things, tons of the research being undergoing to the biofuel components or the blending stocks for dropping the biojet, okay? For aviation industry, currently, biojet is a short-term and a long-term solution, facing the not only politics, air quality issues, but all kinds of solutions come up to one, okay? Of course, aviation industry, just like expert here talking about all aspects, is very important. So our technology, oh, I showed here. So this is one of our patent issued, the technology. We're presented not only technologies, patents, but also the economic recently been published in the journal. What is lignin jet fuel we're talking about? Very simple. We're talking about a jet fuel use aromatic structure, generate hydrocarbons, which is feed C7 to C18 range. We assume they can be jet fuel components, okay? I will show you later on how far we reach the point. So this is journal published this, our patents. And you see the structure here. Because the ring structure, we probably get more energy content or possibly energy density as well. We also developed several catalysis processes. And one of them is a biometabolism process. So with a double metal catalyst, we can generate this type of compounds. We also have a Lewis acid associated with a normal metal. So we also can generate a similar stuff. In the meantime, we also found a difficulty as well. So you have other dehydration compounds can decrease the catalyst lifetimes. So that's the all issues we're going to solve in the future, okay? And this term, actually, we also designed the 20-gallon per day pilot plant, okay? We didn't build them. We're actually testing the small reactor because that's just not really easy to use, like 50K to solve this problem, probably more, okay? But this is actually tells you we can actually continue feeding. We test the feeding and tested and how the result look like. So this is the result. So the result is actually not that simple. We use a GC plus GC and work with other universities. We see lots of monocircular paraffins and dicircular paraffins and lots of heavy compounds, okay? And best easy compare, you can see that's the world survey average for different compounds. This is FT jet fuel A1. So most of we're talking about black stocks is actually blanking with GA1, okay? So this is GA1. But remember, 20 years ago, there was a co-Lignan jet, D900, okay, led by, I think, Texas and Southridge Institute. I talked to them. So this is actually compound they're produced. Versus whatever we have, I found it very interesting. So there's a monocircular paraffins and dicircular paraffin. The ratio is different, okay? So I don't know if it's good or not because we certainly not really did distillation. We're not really supposed to do this because I wanted to see how much raw conversion can be done. And because the refinery is going to be different issues. So this is semi-desk result. You see, JP 900 versus Lignan. So we're still a little heavy, but it's very close, okay? We can be done by interpretation different compounds or maybe do extra process to get very similar compounds. So work with University of Darton. They're carried the certification jet fuel. We far away to the certification. We're close to produce some compounds could be really important for future. So you see the energy density, energy content, the two bars, okay? Most of GA is actually here, okay? So this is actually range, supposed for future jet. So what the future need? Require high energy content and high energy density and more efficient engine, okay? The most important we have to align with our Aviation Center actually at WSU now is the lead in the whole nation. So one of the projects that we're going to do is found the new jet for new engines, higher efficiency, less emission. So that is the compounds actually, most of the compounds, monocircular paraffins fit here. But the dicircular paraffin fit here. So we have to move this one up. So that's going to be the next future work, okay? Hopefully still can continue to get from the JCATI, okay? Take a look at the real status, just like many people said, we're in the Death Valley for biofuel. Everybody knows, okay? So only thing we have to rely on DOE economic modeling. So they set the model. This is actually ethanol production, cellulosic ethanol production, DOE model. We did this calculation. So you can see you produce ethanol, you got to waste the lignans. The assumption they made is actually use the lignin as a power to generate electricity and steam to power the refineries. Even though they cannot use all of them, they left 60% lignin to sell for electricity, which doesn't make any sense, okay? Because you have to build the power generation plants with refineries. So we think we can make that assumption to say 23%, that's already available. You can directly convert to jet fuel, right? And also we may just buy electricity because electricity is much cheaper, but we can still use the lignin generated steam, which is convenient. So that design comes with, this is a refinery, this is jet fuel productions. You see hydrogen, we can generate it from the natural gas. So we did the Aspen modeling and for this, okay? So this is a Aspen modeling calculation. So we put a different scenario. So economics, 23%. This is actually minimal selling price, okay? So if you go the very theoretical, you get a $2.50. Now today is a $2 something for jet fuel wholesale. However, if you put it the 76.1%, which is we buy electricity outside, we can end up $1.70. So that's actually, we can compare with, and more importantly, and they have they also can synergetic with ethanol. We can lower down the ethanol price, make it perfect synergetic, okay? I don't want to say there's a pie, so what we learned is the co-production of ethanol and jet fuel going to be the best scenario for the future refineries, okay? Last, I'm probably going to talk about the company work with me a couple years. So this is Energy System Night, Canada. This is actually, they did it in the Washington Clear Tech business pitch. So this is our partner, this time, Micros. Micros didn't founded by Washington State, but they founded by Queensland in Australia. So they built the hydrocarbon pilot plant now. And my students and other students actually went, I think the last time I talked to the photographer, we took a picture here, right, a business plan. They also won the Alaska business competition as well, okay? So there are lots of funding support, but the JCATI is one of the important ones, okay? And also lots of my partners, you see, not an easy job, being 10 years starting from DARPA Young Faculty Award. So now also acknowledge my old students involved in this business. Thank you very much for your attention.